My name is Cheryl. Today I was out purchasing my Mother's Day present. So I had a limit of $200 and I just wanted to show you what you could get for $200. So to start off, I got 4 of these hanging baskets. They were $16 each. This is Calibrachoa. And so this is like a red and a yellow. I got a two-tone pink, white, and then a purple and a yellow. And what I do with these is I'm going to take them out of this basket. There's usually anywhere from 3 to 4 plants in a basket. I will separate those 3 or 4 plants, and then I'm going to plant it into a big planter. That's my plan for the Calibrachoa. My sister gave me some seeds that she had saved from her Calibrachoa, but I just didn't get any planted this year. This is an assortment. We have verbena, petunias, the little Calibrachoas in this one, so we have a good mix. I'm not going to separate this plant. This hanging basket was $23.98, so I'm not going to separate this one out. I am going to remove it out of the pot, but I'm going to put it into a bigger planter. I bought another assorted one. This one's super pretty too. Lots of purples and pinks, verbena, petunias, Calibrachoa in here. Again, I am not going to separate this. I'm just going to drop it into a plant on one of my planters, and I'm going to have those planters on my deck. I also picked up, this is a gooseberry, but this is a black velvet gooseberry. I've seen the green ones, I've seen red ones, but this is a black velvet gooseberry. So I'm super excited about this. I picked up a gooseberry root from one of my online purchases, and I received it last year in May, just when it was time to plant it. So I planted it and it didn't make it. So I ended up picking up this one. This was $18.75 for the gooseberry plant. When I bought that root, it was $10. So, and then I picked up some herbs. So I have a spearmint, I have some lavender, a rosemary, and a thyme. None of these seeds did very well for me this year. I think I have some rosemary, but it's just not very big. And then I thought this was super cute. So it's, of course, this solar. This was $20, and I just wanted to buy something pretty to put in my garden to decorate it up. I always try to buy a little something every year. It could be a wind chime. I've gotten statues, but this time I wanted to buy a solar. I have another couple of solar ones out in the garden, but they don't even light up anymore. So, and then I have some solar glass balls that I like to put in my planters out on the deck. So I haven't gotten those out yet either. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you along, and we are going to take out these mixed flower arrangements in these hanging baskets, and we're going to plant them into my bigger containers. These herbs that I have, I'm just going to take them out over by the garden because I'm going to be probably planting them in the garden out in the raised beds. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to take all of this stuff. These pots of just the Calibrachoa, I'm actually going to take them down to the bottom part in the kennel because I'm setting up a table to start climatizing my plants. All right, so I have my planters here. These are my pots I'm putting them in. I have still some garden soil from last year that we didn't use up, and then I went and grabbed a bucket of compost, and I just have to fill these up to the first 4 inches in the bottom. So I'm going to put half a scoop of garden soil and a half a scoop of compost into, that's a little more than a half a scoop, and I'll put one in this one, and then I'm going to do a scoop of compost. In each of them. A little bit more in this one. And then I'm just going to stir it around to mix the two of them up. Okay, that's good and mixed. I took the hanger off. They're super easy to take off, and then what I do is I just turn the whole plant upside down, and it has like a ton of roots in it. So when I go and put this into here, those roots are just gonna absolutely love that garden soil and compost mixed together. And then I just sink that into my planter. And then I'm just going to add some more of my garden soil around the sides. Should have grabbed a little shovel, a little one, to put around here. This soil is super wet. And really nice and rich looking. So I'll put this around the outside of my garden soil, and then I'm going to grab some compost and put that around it too. So we have a little bit of everything, and all the nutrients that this planter is going to need. I'll have to get my watering cans out. I have so many watering cans. I put them around in different parts of my yard. So I'll have one on my deck, and then I'll have another one down where I have all my plants that I'm going to be climatizing out before they're ready to go in the garden or wherever I'm going to be planting them on the deck. And right now all I'm doing is I'm just pinching off, deadheading my verbena. I'm also pinching out anything that might have gotten broken in the transition from coming out of the car or going from the nursery to bringing it into the car. I went to 2 different nurseries. We have a nursery that comes into town from Horsefly, and that was the first one I went to, and that's where I got all my herbs, and I also got the gooseberry plant from. And then all these hanging baskets that I just got them from Walmart. So I think that's all that I need to pinch off of this one. Oh, there's another one. The buds on it were all dried up, so I might as well just take them right out. Okay, we'll move this one out of the way, and then I'll grab this other planter and I'll do the same to it. This is so pretty. I love all the purple and the pinks in it. I'm just gonna throw my dead heads in this bucket. I'll just look and see if I have any that I need to pick off before I start dumping this out. Got a lot of dead heads on this purple petunia, so we'll get rid of those. Those still look pretty good. I won't pick those off. It was mostly the purple petunias that needed to be deadheaded. This is so pretty. I love this purple and pink combination. Okay, so we'll take off. Like I say, super easy to get this hanger off too. It just unclips. Not all hangers come off this easy. I've had some where I'm like, are you kidding me? Why is this so hard? Okay, again, I'm going to put my hand in the middle of it just to stabilize the actual planter itself. And this just loosens off so easy. And then I'll plunk it down in here. Add my soil. Just along the sides. Our power went out for a couple of hours. I don't know what happened, but my neighbor asked me if our power was out, and I said yes. And so she looked into it, and then she got back to me and messaged me and said that for some reason only 5 houses were affected by it. So I don't know what happened, that we lost our power, but it's back now. That's what's important. I'm just gonna push this down a little bit into the pot. And there you go. I got my 2 planters planted. Took me like, what, all of 5 minutes to put these in here. Now I can go and take these up onto my deck. Happy Mother's Day to me. So this is where I had my old gooseberry, the one that I just got last year, and this was a Pixwell, a green gooseberry. So now I'm going to put in my black gooseberry. I'm just going to look and see if there's anything that I need to do. So this is good to a zone 3, which means you get anywhere from minus 34 to minus 40 degrees Celsius in the winter, and we definitely do that. So fertilize in early spring, just before new growth begins, with an all-purpose fertilizer. Okay. And then mulch to conserve moisture. So what I did was I have this container or cardboard with compost on top of that, and I had put this around my other gooseberry, but because it didn't make it, then I decided I was getting a new one. You have to be careful when you're handling gooseberries because they have like pokey little spikes, like a rose plant would have. So I'm planting this under the level of the soil so that when I bring my dirt back in around it, I did bring a bucket of compost too, so I'm going to give a little bit of compost in the hole around it, and then I'll have that compost once I put the cardboard with the compost back around it. And then eventually the cardboard will break down, and then the fertilizer will be able to, then the compost will be able to do its trick by fertilizing this plant for us. So I'm going to put this soil that I took out of the ground, I'm going to put it back in around my gooseberry. Okay. And then I'll add a little bit more compost over top of that. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little more compost around my plant, or around my gooseberry. Just around the top of it. And then I'm going to slide my cardboard back. Oh, this one, it broke, so I'm going to have to watch how I slide it back in. Put that piece back over there. And then I'll just add some more compost around the cardboard. Cover that cardboard up. Okay, I'll have to give that some water. I'll take this tag because that gooseberry is no longer in that hole, so that takes care of that. So now I have a red gooseberry over here. Then I have this, what was it, a black velvet gooseberry here. And then there, what was this one? This is my red currant bush that I planted that last year, and that came back no problem. But for some reason that other gooseberry didn't make it. This is where I planted my mint last year, but I planted not only a regular mint, but I also planted an apple mint in here. But this year I'm just going to put this spearmint plant right in the middle, and I'm not going to plant any other mint in here because I think it overwhelmed this planter. So I'm just going to plant the spearmint right in the middle. So we'll dig a hole in the center. And then when I'm ready to plant my other plants, my flowers mostly, is what I put in here. I'll plant those around the outside around my mint. Okay, oh yeah, that's more than enough. Oh, there's another tag. That's my spearmint tag. So I'll keep that tag in here so that I know it's spearmint. There's another plant planted. Oh, it feels so good to be planting plants. So I was looking at, sun's bright, I was looking at my chart to see where would be the best place to plant my rosemary and my thyme. I have cilantro planted right there. This is my asparagus bed, and my sister, she showed me a picture of this asparagus that she has, and this one asparagus plant that came up through the ground looks like it has 3 or 4 asparagus like morphed together in one shoot coming out of the ground. It's awesome. And I said, oh, well, at least you have asparagus. Mine doesn't seem to be doing very good. And she said, well, maybe your bed doesn't get enough sun. And I don't know. I'm looking at my bed and I'm thinking, well, it gets sun from probably about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then now it's 2 in the afternoon, and now the sun is coming over here, so it's high enough above. And once we get, you know, into the even more into the summer, like this is only, we're still in May, the sun just gets higher in the sky. So I just don't know if that is the issue. If you have any suggestions at all about my asparagus and what you might think might be, you know, beneficial, or what I could do to help my asparagus do better, if you could let me know in the comments below, that would be awesome. So here I'm going to plant my rosemary and my thyme. Like I say, I started rosemary and thyme from seed, and neither one of them has really amounted to much of anything. In this corner, I'm just going to be planting flowers, so it's not going to impede or disturb any of the flowers that I'm going to be planting in here. Maybe I'll move over a little bit this way. Yeah, I don't see anything in this spot, so I won't dig over there. I won't dig to that side because I need a fairly good sized hole to be able to plant my herb in. So let's see. Yeah, that should do it. And then we'll just mound this up around my rosemary, and I'll put my little tag in beside it. And then what I'll do is I will put my thyme in the front here. So I can put a thyme right here in the corner. And that'll work out well. This is the English thyme. In there. There we go. I haven't seen too much coming in over here. I didn't want to plant it if I had something that I figured was coming up over here, because I had columbines, foxgloves, and carnations, but I haven't really seen anything other than weeds growing up in here. So I am going to dig a hole right over on this spot. And we'll pop this out. I've tried growing lavender from seed. It never turns out. It doesn't amount to anything, ever. So I just figured, no, if they're buying me a Mother's Day present, I am gonna buy myself a lavender plant, and I will just grow it that way, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so over here we're in the kennel side of our property. This is our basement door that we come in and out of, and what I'm doing is I'm going to bring out, I have a craft table, a 6-foot craft table, and I bring that out. It's made of plastic, so I bring it out. The weather, it won't affect it at all. So I'm going to grab that, and we're going to set that up over here. And I already had it set up in the house. There. That's much better. At least it's sturdy. And I don't want it to be in front of the faucet, because this faucet is what we use for watering over at my raised gardens. The spigot that comes out of the ground isn't working properly, and so every time we have it on for any length of time, water is flushing up into on the surface of the grass. So Jamie just doesn't have time to be fixing that. And then what I've done is I've set up a couple of sawhorses over here. I'll be using that for plants as well. And these hanging baskets, I'm just gonna put them over here for now. I've also got 2 watering cans, because with the hose being hooked up to the house, I'm not going to have access to that water, so I'm going to use my laundry sink and get the water from inside the house. I'll just fill up these cans here. Whew, dirty. And I'm just going to bring these baskets and put them over on this little bench here. So I have lots of room, and what I do is I bring out my plants, and I won't bring them out until after I'm off work, which I'm not off work until 2:30. So I'm going to bring the plants out here. The afternoon sun, like right now, it's 2:30 right now. So with having that table up against the house and having this sawhorses set up with these panels across there, and then that there, it's going to not have my plants in the full sun. To start, I'm only going to bring them out, and they'll probably be out here for a couple of hours. So I'll load up all my trays, bring them out here for a couple of hours, out in the, just to get them used to being outside, and then I'm going to take them all back in and put them back on my plant stand. So here I have all my plants. These are in this first tray. Those are herbs, and I have celery and I did find my eggplants. I thought that they didn't do any good. So in the front, this is celery. Then I have some fennel that I started. This, what is this? This is lemon basil. Then my eggplants in behind. This is my flat leaf parsley, and then I have my curled leaf parsley in the back. These are tomatoes in the front, and then these in the back I have cosmos, and this is the osteospermum. And then I have this one in the very back. What is that? This is my Lavatera, the ruby Lavatera. These are all my jalapeno peppers. Here I have a mix of lobelia. It's all flowering. Then I have some petunias in the back. That one's flowering, and then those are petunias back there too. Down here, this tray is snapdragons, this tray is snapdragons. These are my geraniums. A lot of them are flowering. And then this is a mock orange plant that was given to me. And those are all tomatoes too. Coming over here, these 4 trays are all tomatoes. Down below, this is snapdragons, Dusty Miller. This is the borage. I have a mix in the very back. I have hollyhocks, and then in front of the hollyhocks, I can't remember, calendula. And this, I have alyssum. This is balsam. I've up-potted all my marigolds over there. I have 2 trays of up-potted marigolds. Then down below, I have some verbena. I have sunflowers in the front. And then in the back are all my different squashes. And I have cucumbers as well. So these are the pickling cucumbers. and I have 3 so far coming up, and then this is the improved long green. I only have 1 of those coming up so far. Then beside it, I have spaghetti squash. In front is my spirit pumpkin. Next to that is the candy roaster squash. Behind the candy roaster squash is butternut. Beside the candy roaster is the bonbon. And behind that is the mashed potato squash. These are mostly my brassicas. So, except for these 2 in the front, these are zinnias. Next to the zinnias, this is the munchkin broccoli. Then I have the cheddar cauliflower. Next is the Lenox cabbage. In front of the Lenox cabbage is the Scorpio cabbage. Pull that out a little more. Next to the Scorpio cabbage is the sprouting broccoli. Behind the sprouting broccoli is the Chinese gold cabbage. Next to that is the red cabbage. And then next to that is my early snow white cauliflower. And no Brussels sprouts came up and no cucamelons came up. I'm just gonna give up on cucamelons. These are all my assorted peppers. And I have shishitos. This is more shishitos. This is the sweet banana peppers. In behind is Big Bertha. Behind the Big Bertha is the cayenne. So those are all my peppers. And I'm going to be taking all of this stuff outside. So there you have it. I'm going to be starting this tomorrow. I have 20 flats of plants that I'm going to be bringing in and bringing out and moving them back and forth. And I do this every year. So like I say, the first couple of days I'll bring them out for a couple of hours, 2 hours, maybe 3, depending on how hot it is too. And as long as they're not out in the full sun, then they'll be okay. And then over the course of a week, I'll be extending that period. It might be 2 or 3 hours the first couple of days, then I'm going to be going up to 4 or 5 hours, and then they'll be out here all day, and then I'll just bring them in at night, and then they'll just be out here all the time until I get around to planting everything. So with all those tomatoes, like I say, I have over 100 tomatoes, and I will be planting 42 of them. Half of them will be going on my deck. The other half will be going out in my raised garden beds. All my determinants are going on the deck, and all my indeterminants are going in my raised garden beds because they will need to be staked. And I'll have a lot of flowers on the deck. I'm going to have my tomatoes on the deck. So there's going to be an assortment of everything all over the place. I'm not going to start planting. I think actually I'm going to plant my celery out in the garden this week because it can handle the cooler weather as well. So I'm going to be planting that. Other than that, I've got my couple of watering cans out here. I'm going to be taking one up onto the deck and leaving the other one just out here by the back door so that I can easily fill it up and then water all my plants as they need to be done. So that's all I'm going to be doing for today. I just wanted to bring you along. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.